Good afternoon. How's everybody today? Sunday afternoon here. We got some sunshine again. Haven't had any sunshine for a while. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. We have, according to the weather forecast, today, tomorrow, and Tuesday of nice days, and then we get more rain. It's kind of becoming a theme this fall where we get a couple of days a week to run, and then we sit around and wait on the rain the rest of the week. But debating what we should do today. I don't think we can run beans today because they're pretty wet from the rain and everything, and we have 3 days. We might as well let them dry. So I'm thinking Tuesday is our bean running day. But we can shell some corn while we're waiting. So we need to go look at the field and make sure that the ground's not too wet. We have had some rain the last couple of days. About 2/10 yesterday, about 6/10 total since the last time we combined. Is that Wednesday? So it's getting greasy and wet. The ground doesn't dry out very good in the fall when it starts getting cool and cloudy, and so that's going to start becoming a problem, but I think we'll be okay. It's different in the fall than it is in the spring, so we got to get the crops out. We got to get the crops out, right? One of the things that we need to do before we can really get started, at least drying corn here, is to get our grain system set up the rest of the way. We have some dry corn in our wet bin, which, yeah, it makes sense. So that bin there has a little bit of dry corn in the bottom of it, and we need to suck it out of there and use it to prime our dryer. And so we're going to put dry corn in there, should fill it up halfway or so with dry corn. That way, because if you just start with wet corn all the way down to the bottom, the stuff on the bottom is going to come out really wet yet, and you got to recirculate it through. If we do it this way and we put dry corn in there, then it gives the stuff that we would put on top that's wet time to dry before it gets down to the bottom, and you'll over dry some of the dry stuff that you put in there, but that's okay. Plus, that bin is the one we use for wet storage, so when we are bringing trucks in here, it goes into that bin, and then the dryer will automatically suck it out of there and fill the dryer as it needs. But the corn that sits in the bottom of that bin along the sides, the cone that it makes is going to be there all fall, and so we like to have dry corn for that cone and not wet corn. By having dry corn in there, we've already got that cone formed, and it makes startup a little bit easier having some dry stuff around to start up with from last year, rather than starting with all wet corn that we gotta dry into the overhead until it gets dry, and then dry into that bin until we get enough to fill up and make the cone, and this makes it a lot easier. As far as the dryer itself, it is all cleaned out and should be good to go. Phil's going through this pretty extensively, but all of these handles need to be closed. That closes a door up underneath there. Let's see if I can show you. That closes this door right here that we open in order to let stuff clean out. So we've got to close those. There's 6 on each side and on the inside, or 12 on the inside. The ones on the inside are all closed already, so I don't have to crawl through there. That's good. We also have this rubber mat we put in on top of the burner grate there. That's just to keep stuff from getting into there while we're filling it. So we'll leave it in there for now, but that's got to get pulled out before we fire it up. I'm pulling it out, waiting to see. Corn, good. Some of it bounces out while we're filling there. We got to get it. Once it's in there, then it doesn't bounce around as much, but it's going to be really dirty and dusty and stuff filling it. At least it's relatively easy to see how full it is based on where the dust is still coming out at. We're probably over half full here, which is fine. However, I don't have a choice. We gotta get this empty. It has to run until it's empty, so it's all got to go in there, and then we'll just run it faster if we're over half full. Doesn't look like we're as full on this side, so if one side fills faster than the other, it will even up when the other side gets full. So we'll just let her keep going, I guess. All right, we got our dryer ready to go over there. Dad and I are going to go check the field, just to say we checked the field and get the grain cart brought home. It's still up where we finished the beans the other day. He's got to unhook his trailer. All right, here's where we're at. Dad and I went to go check some fields. We looked at the one that I want to go to, and then we went to the bean fields that we got left to see how they were, and another cornfield. 2 more cornfields, actually. And here's what we found. It's a little muddy today. Boston over there. The field where I want to go show corn is too muddy, and that's going to happen today. The bean fields are actually quite a bit firmer. They're 10 miles in the opposite direction, so I'm not surprised by that. We just had less rain there. However, the beans are way too wet. Not going to happen today. And we've got some more days and some sunshine to let them dry out. So we're going to let the beans dry. We do have another cornfield over in that direction that has the same early corn, 104-day corn that was on the one that I thought we were going to go. It just was planted a month later. So we pulled some samples, we looked, and the ground conditions are okay. It was 24, so it's about the same moisture, and we're going to go there tomorrow. Which makes today less exciting, so we're just going to roll into tomorrow here. It's okay. Corn tomorrow. Good morning. Hard frost this morning. First killing frost of the year, October 23rd. I would consider it a killing frost. The weather station only said 30, but everything is white, so it's dead. I did get a new hose for the man lift on Saturday there. Haven't got it installed yet, but that project's gonna have to wait. We're going to shell corn. We got to get the combine out. We're gonna go fuel it up, and we got to get it converted over to corn, which takes like 3 minutes maybe, but we'll show you the process. All right, we're fueled up. There's a few things we've got to change between beans and corn. One of them is this handle right here. It takes 2 hands. So that is a little deflector door in there that keeps cobs from destroying our sieve chaffer. Okay, the other thing, we have to pull the stationary knives out. So these go in the chopper and they chop up soybean stems, but corn cobs would destroy them. And then we gotta shift the speed of the straw chopper, which, that's dirty. It's this handle right here. We just push it all the way in. Yeah, like that. Close the cover. And one last thing, we have to shift our rotor into the slow speed. And I gotta open the other one and kind of pull the pulley to do it. And that's it as far as outside switches go. There's nothing on the feeder house, feed accelerator. Those all stay the same for corn and beans, and for wheat for that matter. We don't change those for anything. So, all right, time to hook up a head. Phil got it out here. We run an 8-row. I know we need a 12. Blah blah blah. I hear it all the time, every year. It's fine. We run an 8-row because we can't keep the corn away from an 8-row. Going to a 12-row doesn't help us at all. Doesn't gain us anything other than maybe a few less hours on the combine because we have to shut it off and unload trucks all the time. So we run an 8-row. The advantage to an 8-row, I don't have to unhook it. We can go down the road with an 8-row head on. It's a little wide, but as long as we're relatively close, it works fine. All right, well, that's our view for a while. I gotta get the connections made, and we gotta put our stock stompers on. There's 2 that we have to, one we have to take off, and the other one we have to rotate up over there to clear the tires on the header cart. So we'll put those back on, and then I think we're ready to go to the field. Well, let's do it here. All right, we've made it to the field. We'll talk about the field in a little bit after we get everything up and running. Okay, got the grain tank covers open, so we're gonna engage the separator. We're gonna speed everything up. Well, actually, hold on, before we do that, I wanna try the head. We have not run this head at all since we had it all tore apart and put back together. Always good just to check things. Sounds good, looks good. Okay, now we're gonna speed it up, and we have to make sure our harvest settings are where we want them. Wet corn. Yeah, we got to make some adjustments here. All right, it's weedy on these ends, but it's corn and it's going in. Let me get comfortable and then we'll check back in. All right, well, everything seems to be working okay. We'll have to get out and check our losses here shortly, but we're just trying to make some room right now for the grain cart and everything. The feeding will get better as the stalks dry. Corn is much different than beans from the sense of I don't really care if the plants are dry. We're really only threshing the ears. Most of the material is going right down through the corn head onto the ground, and we're just trying to snap the ears off. We do get some plant material, but it runs through the combine just fine. As long as stuff doesn't stick to the sieve and the chaffer, then we don't have to worry about it being too wet. So we can run in the mornings when the dew's on and the frost is melting off, that kind of stuff. So we are running our auto path, which is cool. You can see the background there. All those yellow lines, those are the actual rows. And that's all GPS mapped from the GPS receiver on our corn planter this spring. This is the first year we've had that. So that's going to be fun to play with here as we get going. Yeah, so far so good. Let me get these ends off and we'll get our grain cart here and then figure out if I got to go back and get trucks or if I can just stay here and shell for a little bit or what the plan is. Brock will be here in an hour or so. We'll be in good shape. Well, our grain cart is here and we finally got these end rows done. I have no idea how close our yield monitor is. I do trust our cart scales, so we'll be able to get some data from that to be able to compare the yield monitor and combine to what that says. I also don't know how close our moisture tester is, but oh, it's wet. It says it's like 27. I did get drier. That last round that I made was 25.6, which was 25.7, 26%, which is slightly better, but our corn is going to be wet. It's going to be a long corn harvest and just take forever. And don't get me wrong, I love shelling corn. It is fun and lots of enjoyment comes from sitting in this combine seat doing corn. However, once the calendar turns to November, it's time to be done. Today's October 23rd and we're just getting started. I don't want to be shelling corn in December. I want to be shelling corn in October. So when it's this wet and everything is just not easy, makes it a little more challenging. All right, so let's talk about this field a little bit. We are east of town. We're about 7-ish miles northeast of our home farm, and this is not a good farm. It is wet. It's rolling quite a bit more than most of our stuff. There's a big wet spot over there that we planted around. You can kind of see from here. This is the field that we have finished harvest on multiple times. I remember shelling corn on this field in December, right before Christmas. Last time we had corn here 2 years ago, I know this was the last field we shelled. So the fact that we are starting here feels weird, but it has some of the earlier maturing corn on it because it was later planted. And so that should lend to it being a little drier. Now I did look, we had just a little bit of corn left in the planter when we did those ends, and it kind of tapers off in this first pass, and the next one over there is mostly a different variety. So I'm wondering if this is probably fuller season corn here and should get drier. That's a good sign. But anyway, I don't expect great things out of this farm. It shouldn't be our worst corn, but it is by no means our best. So we're going to stop the combine right up here and get out and take a look at what we're throwing on the ground right behind the head and out the back of the combine, make sure our losses look reasonable, and just check stuff out a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do that right here. Go ahead and shut it down. shut the thresher off in the head so it doesn't beep at us. And let's go see what we got. We're going to start right here, right behind the head, because any kernels we find here aren't actually coming through the combine. It's header loss, and it's a different fix than anything going through the back of the combine. And the good news is I don't see any. That's really good news. I don't see any. Oh, there's one. There's one. There's a few. Okay, so we've got a little bit, but that's by no means unacceptable. You don't want to see corn on the ground. You're always gonna see corn on the ground. It's unavoidable to think that you're not gonna have any. So as long as it is a reasonable amount, which I would consider this to be a reasonable amount. There we got two. There's one. Not bad. We can work on that. We can do things like adjust the speed and the deck plate gap, which my deck plate sensor is not working, so it's kind of a visual thing. We got them pretty dang tight right now. The distance between these plates here we can change, kind of slide them in and out. So yeah, all right, let's go look back behind us a ways. All right, so out back here, this is all stuff that has come through the machine, right? You can see a lot more fine stuff. That's husks and leaves that get run through the combine. And we're looking for kernels and ground corn just to see what we've got. I believe it is 2 kernels per square foot equals 1 bushel of loss. And we do have some here, more than I want to see. So we're going to have to make some tweaks. Actually, that's quite a bit. Our cobs are clean, broken into pieces, but not broken in half, lengthwise. So I do like that. I don't want whole cobs coming out. I know some people make a big deal about get these whole long cobs come out the back of your combine. Well, why would you want that? They take longer to break down. I want to get this center exposed so that the microbes can get in there and stuff can break it down. But look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a little pile over there. Now that's more than a square foot, but we're losing too much corn there. Let's check over here on an edge. Yeah, we're losing too much corn. Okay, so we need to make some adjustments to our chaffer, to our cleaning fan speed, maybe to our rotor speed. Try and clean it up. Check again. So we're going to open our chaffer up and our sieve. We'll leave the cleaning fan speed alone right now. I think I'm gonna leave the rotor alone right now. We'll see what that does. I didn't spill one yet, but I can see the corn kernels above the canvas in that mirror. Full. All right, we got a grain cart driver here. Brock got held up at a work meeting, real work meeting. That's fine. We've got a second truck full. We're going to fill the cart up so we'll have a third one we can come and get, but then we're going to shut it down and go back and get the dryer started and see how it goes from there. So I have gotten the combine dialed a little bit better. Our losses are down. That's showing loss over the sieve, but she's calibrated at a 2. A 2! Like, that's about as sensitive as it gets. So the fact that we're showing normal loss at a 2 means there's very, very little coming out the back. My sample is dirtier than I would like, so I'm working on cleaning up the cob and the stuff in there. Wet corn, soft cobs, we're going to get some. I'm not going to get it all, but we should be able to do better than I am. Need to clean that window so I can see better. Anyway, it's going all right. This is decent corn. Like I said, I have no idea how close our yield monitor is, but it's showing in the high 180s. And for this field, we will take that. It is wet. The average is around 25. Hopefully that'll keep drying a little bit, but it's good. It's good. We're doing fine. We'll finish Getting the dryer started up here. Just filling. Fan's running. We're purging the gas line, waiting for that to fire. It's getting there. Take care of that. When there's steam, water vapor coming off the dryer after 10 minutes of it being hot, you know the corn is wet. Oh boy. Well, it's running. Everything looks good. I'm going to get my infrared temperature gauge gun so we can just try and keep an eye on stuff a little bit. So we're, well, Phil went and emptied the grain cart, emptying the third truck. Just trying to watch the dryer, make sure everything is working like it's supposed to. The corn's moving. It's real slow here, but you can see it kind of shaking down. That's all good. Brock's got our thermal imaging camera out, checking the dryer. We're just looking for hot spots, making sure that the corn's not sitting in one spot where it's not moving, you know, because then it gets hot. So you can kind of look down in those triangles and see if it's moving. If you see movement, we're probably good. And they do. So that's good. Let's check on this side a little bit. Yeah, it's moving. I think we're okay. Back in the field. And a grain cart driver. Brock. I have to let Brock drive the nice truck because he's not capable of driving the other truck. It's not fair. You guys ready? I'm going to be mean to Brock. Just preparing you for it. He's sitting down there in the grain cart tractor, just sitting there. Okay, here we go. Hey Brock, this is corn. You don't get to take naps on the end of the field anymore.
I'm trying to set up this office. The machine thing won't connect to your combine right now, so I can't tell. And I'm just trying to get a good grasp on where I need to be and what I need to, yeah.
Okay, you need to be over here, unloading on the go in about 25 seconds. He'll get there. He'll be fine. He had a rough morning. He's a little frustrated, I think. He's getting it figured out. We got the machine sync working pretty good. There you go. And he got the sharing set up so he can see my grain tank level and where I'm at in the field and all that kind of stuff. I think that was something was part of the software updates that we did a week or two ago to the displays. It updated just some of the functionality of the grain cart tractor and the sharing side of stuff. I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to play with it when I'm in there sometime. But yeah, we got it all set up and it's working. And since I'm using the auto path, I'm actually using Work Planner on my phone to send the files to the combine and to the tractor, and you have to have the same file in order for that sharing to work. And I hadn't sent it to the tractor because I didn't know that I needed to. So once we got that set up, now he's connected and everything's good. So there is some decent corn in here. You get down in the bottoms, yield jumps way up. Or low twos. We'll take that. It's gonna go up a little bit, I think, there. So another round, we're over 200 average. Field at 190 and climbing. Oh, there's the 260s. I knew there was good corn in there. It was going to go up. So there's our wet hole that we had to go around this spring. Anyway, yeah, we're going to knock out what we can here. We're going to catch the dryer before long, or the trucks or something, and we're just going to have to sit and wait, and that's just the way it is. It's fine. So the goal is to get this done by noon tomorrow. We should be able to do it. So I'm on part of the planter pass that curved around this wet hole. Let's see how good our auto path and row feelers do here. See if it makes this curve. Nope. Too sharp. It should find the right rows when we dive back in up here, though. See the lines? See how they curve there? Sharp curve ahead, it says. I'll just let it pick the rows for me, and then we'll... Close enough. We are going to catch the trucks real quick. Phil just showed up with another one, but we've got one empty truck. We've got a truckload on a grain cart, so basically we can fill the cart up, and then I think we're going to have to stop and haul corn. Go back to the farm and empty it and check on everything, which is fine. So this corn's decent. I mean, we're sitting right around 190, which would be the best corn we've ever raised on this field. Like, this is not a great field, so I'm pretty happy with it. Everything's going pretty well. Losses are reasonable, and the moisture is just really wet. This is terribly wet corn. I added 2-point moisture correction into the monitor because the numbers that Phil was putting in the computer were higher than what the combine was saying. So it's 27-28% corn, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're gonna get this field done. Time to do some trucking. We're covering some ground though. We've almost got up to the house. Got to be half, maybe a little over halfway done with this field, so that's good. We'll see how our dryer's doing. Neighbor brought a truck in over there, like they're going to get ready to do some beans. Guy on the other end of our farm on the next road over was running beans today, so anybody that's got beans to run is working on them hard today. It's clouded up. We kind of lost the sunshine. If I had more than one day of beans to run, we'd be running beans today too, but I think we can do them tomorrow and get done, and we'll be fine. This corn is not dry. That sample I just took was 29.3, which we did some end rows in the back. That's probably on that truck, so that's part of it. Yikes. And these test weights are not great. However, it is important to know that those will pick up pretty substantially after it goes through the dryer. Like, they may be up to 54 per pound by the time it's through the dryer, so I'm not worried too much about those. Checking the dryer again, the thermal gun. A little hot up there in that corner, but I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. And that spot right there is where we had the fire last year. I'm wondering if it's just the difference in the reflectivity of the metal that's causing that to show up, because it's a really small spot. If it was a bigger area, then I'd be more concerned, but I think we're okay. That is the gas train. It's the gas valve there. It gets hot. All right, I'm back at the field, and I got a rider. Get this mud out of the way.
Yeah.
He brought his books so we can practice reading. Did you do your spelling words already?
No.
Oh, we got to do those too.
We don't have the writing. So
That's okay. You can just say them. Yep. Didn't take long. Wouldn't have it any other way. Well, we're still marching across here. We'll see how far we make it. Up to 45 acres done. Like I said, about 70 in the field, so 25 to go. I don't know if we'll get this done tonight or not, but we'll get awfully close. So not a big deal if we don't, because we can do it in the morning before we can run beans tomorrow. About that time.
Lights.
Time for the lights.
Don't get the drone flying now.
Put the drone up. That's not a bad idea. It'd be a good time of night to do that, right before it gets dark. Put the lights on. It'd look pretty cool. I've got it, but the batteries are all dead. I think I need to
It's in the
charge it.
tractor.
No, it's in the combine here.
The drone?
Yep.
The drone is not.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, we've almost got another cart full. I believe both trucks that are at the field here are full, so we're gonna need one more truck to come back because we're right down to the end. We got maybe 2 rounds left, so it isn't gonna take much. But yeah, we need another truck to get it done, and then we'll need another one to get the cart empty. I think that'll do it. So yeah, it's good. We're in good shape. We're gonna get this done. It's 7:15 right now, so it's really not even that late. It's good. Yeah, we're gonna have a truckload here. Full. How much you got on there, Brock?
59,000.
59. It's light because it's wet, but he's full.
59,000 pounds.
Yep. We should get a truck here soon. We made it, bud.
Yeah. You're saying
Too
good.
close to the trees.
I can totally
Got it.
make a
All right.
like full.
Well, we made it. We got this field
Plastic
done.
one.
All right. Well, we won't have a full grain cart, so we won't have a full another truckload, but we'll have some on the cart that needs to get emptied. This makes tomorrow a little easier. We don't have to worry about shelling corn in the morning. We can just get some corn hauled and do some stuff to get ready for running the beans. We got to get the header cart over here for the corn head so we can drop it. We got to get the bean head over to the field where we're going and get that hooked up and go when we're ready. But we'll have to switch the combine back over to beans. Now, I looked at my phone a few minutes ago, and they were calling for a 70% chance of rain today, like tonight, or like not tonight, today, it said, which I would think we've crossed into the tonight threshold, but it said mostly sunny with rain probable. Like, I'm not sure how that works, but that's what my phone said the weather was going to be tonight. So there is rain to the north. It is not imminent here. I don't think we're going to get any, so I'm not too terribly concerned about it. If it rains tonight, it really throws a wrench in running beans tomorrow. So we got 95 acres of beans to do, and that is it for first crop beans. We obviously still have our double crops to go. They are not ready. We won't be getting to them anytime soon. We did get a hard frost this morning, though, so they are dead, and as soon as they dry out and we get a decent day, we'll go and do them. But I'm glad to be about done with beans. So, and for a first field of corn, 191 it says. We'll see what the grain cart scale says compared to the combine after we get it emptied, whether that's tonight or tomorrow, and we'll have a little better idea how accurate we are. But it's not bad corn. It's good. The biggest problem with everything is just that it is wet, really wet. High 20s. It's gonna make things go really slow with the dryer, with stuff all fall. So we're gonna get the combine empty here, get stuff shut off, jump back in the truck over there, and we'll go check on our dryer, see how everything's going. Plus, we got to get him home because it's bedtime, right?
No.
Yeah, 40 minutes to bedtime.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Oh, hey. Look at those fancy lights on that wet bin. That third one, the orange one, or fourth one, I guess, just came on. It wasn't on when I pulled in. It was when I started filming. Those are nice.
So green one.
All right, Ryland's driving me home. Dryer's running good. Dryer's running good. Everything is fine here. We've got a wet bin nearly full of wet corn. Brock's getting our grain cart empty. Anything coming?
I don't see any.
Okay.
Since the lights are
We're not going to let that dryer dry overnight because there's no reason to, because we're not going to shell corn tomorrow. So it's got all day tomorrow to catch up. We are probably going to haul some dry corn into the elevator tomorrow morning and then knock out the rest of those beans like I was saying. So we had a good day. It's a great start to corn harvest. 70 acres done. And hopefully things go well tomorrow and we get the rest of the beans done. Where are you going, crazy driver? Jeez. So thanks for watching today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Questions and comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys in the morning. And they were calling for rain on Wednesday, but that may be changing too. So maybe we'll get more than just tomorrow to actually get something done this week. That would be good. We'll see. But anyway, have a great night. We'll see you in the morning.